The following is a Candlepin Stars and Strikes rebroadcast featuring some of our most memorable programs.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
Yeah, come on!
Oh, 20 more! Oh!
From Park Place Lanes in Windham, featuring outstanding Candlepin bowlers from all over New England.
You're gonna hear some noise if this is a strike. Got a shot at it. Yes! Got it in a row! Oh, wow!
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is produced in conjunction with the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association. And now your hosts, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
And welcome once again, everybody, to Park Place Lanes here in Windham, New Hampshire, and another edition of Candlepin Stars and Strikes. 2 full hours coming up here on this Sunday afternoon on the Winds. Doug Brown along with Dan Murphy. And, of course, it's the beginning of a brand new 4-week series, both on this show and on Stars and Strikes doubles at 1 o'clock. And last week, if you missed our noon show, Mike Morgan qualified for the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions with a 4.10 in his qualifying series. And now, lo and behold, in this series, a few weeks down the road, it may be that his brother will join him.
That's right. He's top seed in this ladder, but before we get to that, we've got a lot of quality bowlers to come, and it could be one of those that qualify.
All right, let's meet our 2 bowlers for this first week, and then we'll get to the rest of the ladder a little bit later on. Our number 5 seed comes to us from Needham, Massachusetts. His first appearance on singles. He's been with us on doubles on several occasions. Reggie Deline.
Okay, Reggie comes in averaging 125, has a high single of 222, and his roll-off score 656.
And, of course, Reggie, as we mentioned, has been here on Stars and Strikes doubles, but now he's taking a shot at the noon show here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. And his opponent, our number 4 seed in this first week of the 4-week series, is from Meredith, New Hampshire, Al Bolduc.
Okay, and Al's been with us before. He averages 114, high single 186. His roll-off score 1 pin better than Reggie at 657.
All right, now, of course, we've got the big money on the line several weeks down the road with $1,000 to the overall series winner. But, of course, more importantly than that, the spot in the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions, which is coming up very, very soon here on Stars and Strikes. We'll have more details about that in the weeks ahead. But we have 3 strings of Candlepin bowling. We have our bonus ball contest later on, and we're going to get it started between Reggie Deline and Al Bolduc right after these messages. Don't go away. And again, welcome back to Candlepin Stars and Strikes. 2 full hours coming up for you this afternoon. And there's a look at our first match. Number 5, Reggie Deline. Number 4, Al Bolduc. The winner of this one gets Gary Carrington next week. 2 weeks from today, Steve Vadnais makes a return on Stars and Strikes. Hasn't been with us for quite some time. And Tom Morgan, as we mentioned, the brother of Mike Morgan from Lynn, who last week advanced to the Tournament of Champions. He'll be our number 1 seed in 3 weeks. But right now, we've got a lot of bowling to attend to prior to that, as Dan mentioned, and Reggie Deline will get us started in this match on lane 32 here at Park Place, and with a big 9-drop leaving the 5.
This would be a nice start for Reggie. He just keeps it near the center of the lane. He should have it. He's right on the 5 pin for the spare.
Reggie has been bowling very well lately, he told me earlier. Feels very confident. And of course, he's been making...
Oh, how's that for confidence?
Even missing the head pin, having confidence. Strike on spare.
I was just about to say he got a nice break by missing the head pin. He got more than that. Break turned into a strike. So 2 boxes and 2 marks for Reggie.
And now, for the first time in almost 4 years, here's Al Bolduc. And he starts with a strike. Wow. Okay. Well, we're underway here on Stars and Strikes.
It's interesting. The 7 and the 10 pins were the last 2 to go down for that strike. Starts the ball way out to the right, wants it to break back.
The last time Al was here, back in April of '88, his only previous appearance, he lost a very, very tough match to Tom Morgan. This all, of course, is the fill on the strike, so every pin, Al using all the body English he can think of to get that extra carry. It'll be a 7. Al bowled against Tom Morgan, our #1 seed for this series. That was back on April the 3rd of 1988. And Tom came from behind on Al in the third game to win by 5, including a very critical conversion of a spread eagle for a spare in the late stages of that match. And talking to Al about it prior to today's show, and he still remembers all the details of that match. It was a good one.
Reggie's looking at the 1, 3, and 10, trying to make it 3 marks in a row. And he does.
Boy, Reggie is off to a terrific start. You can certainly see what we were alluding to earlier, that he's just bowling with an awful lot of confidence right now. Right on the head pin again. This time he does not carry the extra.
6-7. A couple pieces of wood, one in front, one behind the 6 pin. And he'll shoot at the 6 and try to snap the wood across for the 7.
Not quite.
So this mini storm ends in the 4th frame after a torrid start. Spare, strike, spare for Reggie. Gives him 68 through the first 4 frames.
Al Bolduc from Meredith, near the lake.
1-4-7 for Al. Just missing the head pin to the right. Almost cups that ball if he can pick it up and just really turns it over.
Yes.
Nice spare.
Oh, great shot. Terrific shot for Al Bolduc, and this is quite a start for both bowlers here. The wood wasn't even important on that shot.
Would have made it even without it.
Al is the owner of Town Line Plumbing and Heating in Meredith.
Oh boy! These guys came to play. Dead in the 1-3 pocket, just a matter of tripping the 4 pin for the strike. Reggie lost that one a little bit to the right. Let's see though. Not bad. 1, the 2, and of course the 9 pin in the back. See if the wood's going to position itself where it's going to be a help. Looks like it may be. He's going to rest right against the 9 pin.
For the spare, no, just missing.
Too heavy on the head pin. Drove it right straight back, left the 2 pin.
Might have heard Dan mention in the open that Reggie's high single is a 222. Reggie was telling me earlier that he rolled that 222 back in 1976. And that string featured a 7-bagger, 7 consecutive strikes. I don't know if I've heard of any
I've heard
stretch of strikes longer than that. Reggie told me that he hit the first 4 strikes, all solid hits, and then the 5th one, he hit the 2 pin full, and he thought that it was over, and he got a backdoor strike out of it, and then he hit 2 more after that for 7 in a row.
Yeah, right back in the 1-2 pocket this time, but his ball's breaking so sharply that one just broke to the left and leaves himself the diamond 3, 5, 6, 9 in the 7 pin. That's an 8 fill on the strike. That'll bring him within 4 of Reggie. Within 3 if he can get both of these, but doesn't do it. Still a 4-pin advantage, but Reggie already has a spare in the 6th.
Wow, 77 to 73 after 5 boxes.
And the exact same leave now in the 1-2 pocket. See, that's not his pocket where his ball breaks so sharp at the end.
It's tough enough to get the diamond, but then you throw in the 7 pin in addition. Would he maybe try the wood here?
No, I don't think so. He wouldn't carry the 3.
Al lives up in Meredith with his wife Nancy, and they have 2 daughters, 16-year-old Becky and 10-year-old Kara. Man, what a 10. There was the shot that might have converted the spare right there. That was a pretty shot for a 10 box. Boy, both of these bowlers are right on so far. Reggie Deline now working on a mark, his 4th. He's right on the head pin again, and he'll shoot another spare leave.
Well, a little more difficult. The 4-7, couple pieces of wood. Lucky for him, they're frozen, so if he comes up high in the wood, should drive it right straight back.
Yes.
Kept it in play. 105 through 7, bonus ball to come. Off to a great first game.
It won't be
Back in the pocket again and a strike.
It won't be 222, but it'll be a pretty good game nonetheless.
This time in the 1-3 pocket. 4-pin, get out of there. Strike. 3 more marks in a row. Started with 3, opened in the 4th, 5th, and now 2 spares and a strike in the 6th, 7th, and 8th for Reggie Deline.
Meanwhile, Al Bolduc's working on a pretty good string too, but may not be good enough. Al just trying to work this one out. For a moment, I thought he was going to make that for a 10. It wouldn't have surprised me after some of the shots he's made so far. 92 through 7, but trailing by 23, as you see.
Just 2 boxes ago, he was only 4 behind. He's still opposite a strike. Now, that time he was in the 1-2 pocket, but he was real tight. Left just the 6-pin. Oh, hang on. Just got it.
Skipped it. Good thing the wood was there. Mark number 4 for Al Bolduc. So we move into the final 2 of this first game, which has been quite interesting so far. One of our participating sponsors for this series on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Oh, double strike for Reggie Deline, and does it ever stop here? Geez, maybe he is shooting for that 222.
It's awesome right now. He's there for 3. Well, a little light.
Well, if he can convert this, it would be 162 in the 9th with a markup in the 10th. Let's see.
He's got it.
Oh, yes!
It comes back.
5 marks in a row, 172 and a ball to come. Thought he was going to get robbed there, just caught it. How about this for an opening string?
Wow.
And he'll have to settle for a 179.
Unbelievable.
Oh, that is an outstanding first game for Reggie Deline.
8 out of 10 boxes are marks.
Al Bolduc now working on a spare. As I started to say, one of our participating sponsors for Candlepin Stars and Strikes this weekend and during this series is Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan. All the fine folks in Salem, New Hampshire, including Emmett Horgan and the gang, come to Salem and save. Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan.
3-6-4-7 facing Al, trying to split the 2 and the 4 and drop that one, bounce that one right off the foul line.
$117 with a box to come. Stay tuned, by the way, after our next break. We will give you all the details of our bonus ball contest address. If you haven't entered and you'd like a chance to get in on the winning, we'd love to hear from you. A spare leave for Al Bolduc here in the 10th. We've got $40 in the jackpot at the end of this week's show. But you can't win if we don't have your postcard. So get a pen and a piece of paper. We'll tell you how to do it. And Al let that one go, and he knew right away.
He's going to have a decent opening game, but he's going to find himself in a heap of trouble.
Well,
127.
A 179 rolled against him by Reggie Deline. Big lead for Reggie after 1 game. Still 2 to go, though, here on Stars and Strikes. Don't go away. Now Al Bolduc. A lot of work to do. The frustrating thing for Al is that, oh, there's a nice way to start, a backdoor strike, so he is now the beneficiary of a little break there.
It's like the 1 and 2 are going to be left, and 2 was clipped from behind and slid back into the 1.
What's got to be frustrating for Al is that he had a fine start himself in that first game, and he's got a double strike to start. And Al Bolduc is all pumped up now. When you're 50 pins behind, you got to start somewhere, and a double strike is not a bad way to do it.
Well, you get up there and throw a triple, and this game is virtually back even again, depending on what Reggie does. Very, very important ball coming up for Al next time. Whether or not it's a strike, but he wants at least a good fill.
Well, any thought that Reggie might have had about, well, I got a 50-pin lead, so much for that. I'm sure Reggie wasn't thinking that way because these guys don't generally tend to do that, but
he was cruising, that's for sure.
No lead is big enough. How about this, though? Strike in the second. After a 5-box, he comes right back with a big strike on a Brooklyn hit.
Tripping that 5-pin from behind, the last pin to go down. The big ball for Al Bolduc, working on a double strike. He's right in the pocket, almost left that exact leave that he's had 2 or 3 times with the triangle plus the 7, but was able to kick a few more out, looking at the 3, 5, and 6.
No. $10, 55 through 3.
Eight strikes already between the two bowlers.
That was a lob.
That was a lob.
That one's going to have to be a reset for Al Bolduc. Joe Paglia making the call. It did look like Al kind of spun that one out there.
Well, you usually can hear his ball hit each time he releases the ball, and that time it took a little while longer before he actually came in contact with the lane, so he knew it was going to be close, and he was right on it. It's too bad because they had the 4-7 left up. This will be for a 10 box now. And we're going to check that piece of wood.
Looks like it should be in play. It's right in front of the head pin, and it is in play, the 189. That head pin is almost, that wood is almost directly in front of the head pin. He can get by it just a little bit on the right, on the left, rather.
Oh boy, it cost him all 3 pins. 62 after 4.
Reggie Deline, this is on a strike, remember. Leaves the 3-4.
Going to try to pinch the 3-pin on the right-hand side. Try to jump it over into the 4. 8 on the strike.
And 9. Well, Al Bolduc has chipped 23 pins off the lead, so it's down to a more manageable level, at least for now, at 29, although he did leave an open frame here in the 4th. And Reggie is right through the middle. Spread eagle. That was a classic spread eagle ball right there.
All the way from the time it left his hand.
And an 8-box. We will pause right here. Al Bolduc has chipped quite a bit off that lead of Reggie Deline. It's at 30 right now. We'll be back on Stars and Strikes in a minute. Al Bolduc trails by 30, as you see, but that's a heck of a lot better than 52, which is what it was when he began this game.
Well, he really pushed that ball now. I wonder if he's still conscious of the lob that was called. He didn't deliver the ball the same. That time he did.
Oh, yes. Nice spare.
Quick recovery there. Clears 5 of them away and needs some help for the 5-pin. More important, spare in the 5th. Reached right out there. Good follow through in that one. Drops 8.
And pretty favorable wood here, it appears.
You wouldn't want to be too far right on the red line, though. I think you want
Right.
to be up a little high.
Watch out.
Yep.
There it was. Well, I don't know if Al intended to play it there or whether he maybe let that slip. a little bit. He gets the 10. Let's take another look at that.
Yeah, he was right on the red line, so he didn't have the angle to carry the 8-pin in the back. Had to come up a little higher.
Reggie Deline is full again on the head pin. He got a little bit of a break that time.
Not carrying the extra pin, though, like he was the first game. 3, 6, and the 7-pin.
Nope. Reggie, as I mentioned, until today, had made all of his previous appearances here on Stars and Strikes doubles, and all of them this season. Back in October, he was paired with Pat Pay. They won a match before losing to Don Weatherby and John Maffio, and then in November, Reggie was paired with Bob Buxton, and they rolled a 429 and lost to Bob Mazur and Phil Clough.
As Reggie slides by the head pin, so he's opened 2 more frames. Loses another in count, so the lead now is down to just 20 pins. He's taken 32 pins off that lead. He just joined us. You can see the opening games. 179 for Reggie Deline, 127 for Al Bolduc. Al is slowly climbing back into the match.
If you just joined us, that'll teach you for tuning in late. Reggie threw a whale of an opening game. 3 marks in a row to start, 5 marks in a row to finish, including a double strike. Al Bolduc can't carry the 7-pin.
That close. 3, 7, 10. Got the 3 and the 10. Didn't get much help on the 7.
And that's a $9. Well, even after the double strike to open this game, Al is just about where he was score-wise through 7 in game 1. So he'd like to have a big finish here to try and cut a little further into that lead, leave himself less work in the 3rd game.
1, 2, 4, 7. 4 horsemen left plus the 9-pin. Piece of wood just to the right of the head pin.
Let's see, no.
So he'll have 2 open frames. Chance for Reggie to add some more pins to his lead.
Nice 10 for Al. 109 through 8.
Missing the head pin.
Reggie appears to be reaching a little bit.
Just a little out of sync right now, and actually almost dropped that one on the foul line, much like Al Bolduc did earlier. That time he's on the head pin.
Oh, yes. That's a nice shot, especially when you're struggling a little bit, as Reggie has been doing in this 2nd game. Now on the spare, missing the head pin again. He'll take 6.
1, 7, 10, and also the 9-pin. Got a chance. I'm sure Al Bolduc is thinking a couple marks the last few frames to really cut into that lead, because that pushes the lead back up to 26.
So it's in half from where it was at the beginning of this game. Al Bolduc crosses over, just missing the Brooklyn pocket, and he leaves the 1-3. Got it. Big mark right there in the 9th for Al Bolduc.
Really reached out with that one. Stay within himself. That's when the lobs usually happen. If you try to put a little too much on the ball.
That was a very nice looking ball that time. The
Solid
spare.
9 drop, leaves the 9-pin. He wants that wood to roll back. The farther the better for him. Now he's got a lot of room, even to the left. Well, the wood's starting to roll back out. The wood to the left, that's the one he's playing.
Nice, very nice. Just had room to deflect that ball off the wood to the left.
Did catch a little bit of the front piece, but didn't make any difference. Gives him 138 and a ball to come.
That was his 9th mark of the match. Reggie Deline has 10. Each bowler has a double strike.
And boy,
how about that one?
9 pin again.
Ooh. Well, that's the finish that Al Bolduc was looking for. 147 to go with his 127 for a two-string total of 274.
And if Reggie doesn't mark, he's going to be within 1 mark of the lead. 1, 3, and 7 for Reggie. Oh, he's too full on the head pin. I know it's still early, we've got a full game to go, but I can't remember anyone coming from 52 pins down to win a match.
That's a long way to come. It's down to 16 right now. And as you see, Reggie's working opposite a mark here. Again, a mark 9 in the 10th.
Again, off the head pin, and he wants that 10 pin to go. No.
Ooh.
Well, he's got 2 pieces of wood to the left, and that's the only shot he's going to have.
May as well give it a shot, right?
All right, get him moving. You never know.
That's what he's doing. Nope.
He's right dead center. He had to be either left or right.
Well, would you believe this is going to be single pins? A single pin differential after 2 games. It's down to 5.
Unbelievable.
279 for Reggie Deline, 274 for Al Bolduc, a 5-pin difference with 1 game to go. Don't go anywhere. Well, here's a look at the 4 targets. These are the guys everybody's shooting for right now. The 4 who have already qualified for the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. Paul Berger with that 437. Dave Richards, Mike Morgan, of course, last week with the 410. Stu Bergman with the 380, and we have 2 spots still available. And perhaps one of these 2 gentlemen will be able to make a run all the way to the top. We'll see.
Certainly they've demonstrated the fact that they can throw the big scores, and of course with the other 3 bowlers in this ladder, Gary Carrington, Steve Vadney, and Tom Morgan, no slouches there. So I would say probably every one of those are in jeopardy. Maybe Paul Berger is, obviously he's the safest, but we've certainly got the potential of knocking them all off. That's an 8 box.
Just an 8 box.
Yes, just made it.
Reggie Deline threw a 179 opening game, but then a 100 second game.
Just certainly wasn't on the head pin as consistently that second game as he was the first. And again, missing the object pin there, which was the 2. So 2 open frames for Al Bolduc. Gotta give Al a lot of credit. I mean, 52 pins down, some people just roll over and say, that's it, let's go 2 more games and let's get out of here. But came right back within 5 pins. That looks like a good ball.
Boy, again,
Yeah.
a diamond.
That time he's in the 1-3 pocket. The opposite, diamond in the 10 pin at first. 10 pin went down, but looking at the 2, 4, 5, 8.
Oh, yes, right on it. And Al Bolduc is going to take the lead in this match.
Incredible. Certainly the momentum has swung back Al Bolduc's way.
10 marks each bowler now. Each bowler with 6 spares and 4 strikes.
You know, and a lot of times, and I've been in those situations where I've had big leads before, and all of a sudden the bowler I'm bowling against makes a run at me, and the first thing comes into my mind is, my goodness, can I blow a 52-pin lead? I mean, sometimes there's more pressure that way on you than if it's close. Oh, boy.
Al will take a 9,
And
but he
lead
now
by
has
5.
a 5-pin lead in the match.
Oh, Reggie got that lead.
Seems to be the leave of the day.
I guess so. Got some help with the diamond, but he needs some help with the 10, and he gets
yes.
it.
What a great shot.
That should boost his confidence a little bit. And he's right back in the pocket, and a strike. So back and forth we go.
Reggie's not going to let this thing get away that easily.
There's the strike, tripping the 8 pin. Al Bolduc for his third and fourth frames.
And he's in the pocket.
Well, he wants that one to stay up, unless he's going to take a few more friends with it when it goes. A 4-7-8, piece of wood in between. Looks like if he's on the 4-pin, he should carry the other two.
Actually, he was a little light in the pocket, but ended up with the spare leave and converts it.
Boy, have we got a match.
Seems pretty likely that we'll have matching 400s in this match.
Oops, hang on. Whoa, got a break. Got a big break, because that looked like half Worcester time when they let that ball go, but he leaves himself.
It might not have been a break that the head pin went down.
Right. 7 and 10. Important he gets the 8 on the spare, but now he's got to try to convert to 7-10. Looks like he should go at the 10 pin, maybe clip the wood as you're going by. Now he's going right down the center.
Nothing.
There's 2 or 3 pieces of wood there, so they kind of deadened each other and didn't move at all for him, except set it up for a possible 10.
That it did. 55 through 4 for Al Bolduc. When Reggie Deline steps back up, he will trying to be regaining the lead. That's how close it is here on Stars and Strikes. Right down to the finish with this one. Great match. Don't go away. Reggie Deline working on a strike. And trying to regain the lead. Ooh, off target.
He gets a little break. The 1, the 2, and the 8 left. Remember, he's working on a strike. Not this time. Missing the head pin. Good. Gets an 8-pin drop. And that will tie it up as far as boxes completed, I believe.
Right.
Flat-footed tie through 4 boxes of this third game.
Well, it's a tie in this game. Still a 5-pin lead for...
I stand corrected. You're right. 5-pin lead for Reggie. All the information right here on the screen, and I misread it anyways.
There's so many marks, it's confusing.
4 horsemen right. A little heavy on the head pin, but he carries it. It's flush on the head pin. The wood had to help a little bit there, keeping the 2-pin in play, or 3-pin in play for the 6 and then eventually the 10.
Al Bolduc now, right through the middle.
It's the first time, I believe, he's gone through the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd say he had to go after the 3 and the 6. He's going the opposite side.
Oh, that
Great
close.
try.
What a great effort that was.
Well, learned something there. I mentioned this many times. The reason I would have went 3-6 because you have the 8-pin in there and a chance of you cutting the 3-pin into the 8 and something coming forward for you. But you very nearly made it the hard way on the 2-4 side. Now he needs to match the mark Reggie has up, and he's through the middle again, the spread eagle.
These two guys got the last 2 spots, the 4 and 5 spots in this series. Al Bolduc with a 657 roll-off score, and Reggie Deline with a 656. And then right behind them in 6th spot, just missing our show, Jack Quinn with a 654. Jack Quinn is already qualified for the Tournament of Champions in doubles.
Doubles, right.
With Mike Morrill.
Well, Reggie has a lead of 5 in the match. He can push it into double figures with a fill and a spare. He's off target. No, it's not going to do it. Can push it to 9.
Reggie's had a real problem with the head pin.
Ever since that first game. Looked like he just picked that ball up and rushed it a little bit. Didn't get either one of them.
Off the head pin again, to the right.
1, 2, 4, 8 left. Doesn't want to leave 2 open frames for Al to work on. Trying to protect a 9-pin advantage. No, he's not going to have it. So it is going to be 2 open frames for Al Bolduc to work on, the 7th and 8th frames. And it looks like we're going to go down to the final 2 frames. Week number 1 of this ladder championship. 10 gives him 96.
So Al steps up trailing by 9, as you see, but he does have the 2 openings. He's been coming from behind all day, it seems. So the question is, can he do it one more time?
Oh, boy, that was
How
a good-looking ball. Well, possibilities. He could carry the ball off the piece of wood for the 5-pin. Now, whether or not the wood can take the 10 is the problem. Let's see what happens. Looks pretty good. No, he was high enough on the wood to take the 10, but the ball was too high to take the 5.
He played it all the way over to the right as far as he could go.
Gain 2 and count, so that reduces the lead to 7. And the push frame, the 8th frame, trying to set himself up for the final 2 and give Reggie something to think about, only leading by 7.
Crosses over, almost had another diamond leave, but he'll shoot at the triangle instead, the 3, 5, 6. This would be a critical mark, obviously, because it could, in essence, even up the match going to the final 2, and he missed it.
Yeah, try to keep it at 7 with the 10 box. Make it a 9.
So it's an 8-pin lead with 2 to go, which means that if Reggie throws 1 mark up there, chances are Al's going to have 2.
Correct.
Oh, and Reggie is right in there. How about that? He hasn't thrown a ball like that in a long time. But that was a huge strike in the 9th. Perfect.
No doubt about that one. And a carbon copy of that one, but he leaves himself the 8 and the 10.
Trying to snap it. Well, that'll leave Al with a chance.
Well, he'll need 2 marks, and they'll have to be big ones.
125 for Reggie Deline and a 404 3-string total. That means is that Al Bolduc has to have a 130 to tie, so he's got to get 37 to tie, 38 to win.
Well, that's exactly what he got. The final 2 boxes of the last game was 38. Spare 9, spare 9. You'll have to start with a 4 horseman right, 1, 2, 4, 7, and the 10-pin. No.
Nope.
Be in a double strike situation now.
That makes it 102, so 2 strikes, and then he'll have to think about, if he can do that, then he'll have to think about the 3rd ball, and he'll need 8 on that just to tie. But he's got to get the strikes first. Each bowler has a double strike already in this match.
He needs some help.
Little
Light hit.
thin, watch out.
No, he's not going to do it.
Oh.
That close to the first one. Reggie survives after with that opening 179. He squeaks one out. Wow.
Al's still fighting through there, though. He marks in the 10th. He'll roll again.
He's going to be in the 390s, and he's going to come up short.
And for the 2nd time in a row, he's going to have a very, very close loss here on Stars and Strikes. I mentioned the previous time he was here, he lost to Tom Morgan by 5. This time it's to Reggie Deline, a 117 for Al Bolduc, and a 3-string total 391. So a 13-pin victory for Reggie Deline, but that really doesn't tell the whole story, as Al Bolduc came all the way back from a 52-pin deficit, but Reggie came up with a couple of big marks in the end to win it. We'll be back, talk to both bowlers, and tell you more about next week's show in a minute. And welcome back to Park Place Lanes here on the Winds for Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Don't forget, coming up in just a few minutes, we've got the first week of our brand new 4-week series of men's doubles as we return to that format, looking for a doubles team to move into that Tournament of Champions. As for this match, Dan, well, all I could think of when Reggie threw that big opening game and then dropped way down in the second one was hitting a great drive 260 yards out into the middle of the fairway and then shanking your second shot.
That sounds like you and I.
That is exactly.
I got to give a lot of credit to Al, being down 52 pins after one game to come back and actually take the lead in that third game. Just amazing comeback. But Reggie was up to the task, threw a couple more marks. If this is any indication of the way this slider is going to go, we get some exciting bowling coming.
All right, let's talk to our 2 bowlers and give away some money. And we also hope to give you some money, too, in the bonus ball contest. But before we do that, let's call up Al Bolduc. Al, come on. And Want to give you the fifth place check, which is not the one you wanted, I'm sure, but terrific effort. Turn around here so we can make sure we see you on camera. We've got a plaque for you also from the N&R Trophy Company of Winchendon. Obviously, coming into that second game, you just try and forget what happened, I suppose, and it worked for you because you were able to eventually take over the lead.
It's a funny game, isn't it? Nobody told me I'd have to spot Reggie 52 pins to get on the show, but it's just one of those things. You can have a hot one and a cold one, and you know that last one I needed a couple of marks, and I got kind of a rough split there at the end, but you got to work them out, you know.
Well,
with
I'll say one thing. The two times you've been here, they've both been terrific matches. We were talking earlier about the match you had with Tom Morgan some years back, and that was kind of a close one and a frustrating one too.
Yes, it was. Tom picked up the spread eagle to beat me in the eighth frame. I come back with a strike in the ninth, but it just wasn't enough. Too little, too late.
You remember all these little details, don't you?
I remember them quite well. It takes me long enough to get back on the show, you know.
Well, don't stay away so long this time,
I'll
all right?
try not to.
All right. Thanks very much, Al. Congratulations. Al Bolduc from Meredith, New Hampshire, our runner-up, but a gallant effort after falling behind by 52 pins in the opening game. All right, Reggie Deline now for our bonus ball contest. We're going to try and give away $40 in cash and also a couple of brand new sets of bowling balls from Paramount Industries. And Reggie will drop 5. Let's see.
I don't think so.
No? 6 is the guess. So closer than we might have thought. For Nat Cohn, I believe it is. Nat Cohn of Dover, New Hampshire. So Nat, you'll be receiving a consolation gift from TB50 and the NHCBA, as his guess was 6, and we'll be going up to $50 next week. Reggie, slide right in here so we can get you on camera. That was a terrific opening game. You got to feel everything's going for you at that point.
Everything was going for me the first string, but the second string I started letting up a little bit. But when I got the strike in the ninth in the last string, I felt I had it.
What are you thinking when you're up by 52 pins and the guy you're bowling against throws up and starts the second game with a double strike?
You can't let up on the guy. It's the only thing. You got to keep bowling good.
Well, I have a feeling you're not going to be able to let up next week either because we got a guy named Gary Carrington coming in to face you.
Oh yeah, he's tough. He's tough. I'll have to beat him, but he's going to be tough.
Well, congratulations again. Terrific effort today, 404, and you can carry the confidence from that into next week. All right.
All right, I'll try to bowl my best next week.
Thanks very much, Reggie.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And we will look ahead now to next week. Bring Dan back in here, and we've got a look at our ladder so that you can take a look at what's coming up in the weeks ahead. The winner of this match, of course, Reggie Deline, moves on now to face our number 3 seed, Gary Carrington. Then 2 weeks from today, Steve Vadnais comes in, and then Tom Morgan on the top in that number 1 spot. Reggie against Gary Carrington. Reggie, we've talked about the way he's been bowling lately. Gary has always bowled well here on the program, and that promises to be a terrific match next week.
Well, if you get extra pins for as far as your reputation goes, the next 3 bowls should start out with about 100 pins to start with, but they still put the shoes on the same way Reggie does, and Reggie showed that he can throw some scores, so it should be interesting next week.
All right. You talked about being in that position where you get that huge lead, that 52-pin lead after one game. We talk about how short these matches are. I mean, ordinarily these bowlers compete in 5- and 10-string events. Here, only 3 games. It seems like if you get a big lead like that it's over, but here at Park Place especially, and really with the caliber of bowlers that we're talking about, it's kind of like Fenway Park. No lead is too big.
That's right, and as you said, Park Place Lanes is noted for a big strike house, a lot of strikes thrown, and we see it quite indicative of this match, not how many strikes were thrown. So no lead is safe. You got a 60-pin lead, a double strike, triple strike, could cut it right in half, if not take over the lead like we saw Al do.
All right, next week, of course, we will be back at 12 noon with our second week in this series as Reggie Deline faces Gary Carrington. But don't forget, stay with us. Coming right up in a few minutes, week number 1, Stars and Strikes doubles as we get back to our men's doubles format. Until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole TV50 Sports crew, Doug Brown, so long from Park Place Lanes.